putting the old DIY limit straps to the test here, holding this axle up with one bolt that's not even tight, so that's good. It's got the springs out, got those junk shocks off of there, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Got a hole cut in the floor so I can kind of see. I guess what I'm going to do is set this thing all the way down to where I would consider it to be full bump, and then I'll set the shocks up from there, and then I guess it's just kind of a guess to see how much down travel we'll get. But so in typical me fashion, just like the rest of this, I didn't measure anything. I just ordered parts and tried to make it work. So there's the hole I cut in there to try and see if I could get these shock mounts to line up. But the problem is the way that the angle goes when this is up, I would have to mount it basically here to get it to line up there. Kind of see the shock hoop, maybe not, I don't know. So what I decided to do instead of doing that was try and hook it up to the original mount, which was already here, which can be modified. So I punched a hole right through there. So this is gonna end up needing some major reinforcement here, because I'm just basically hacking at the unibody at this point. But you know, I mean, you gotta make damage to make progress, right? All of history, that's how it happened. So, okay, well, sitting here working on this problem that I created for myself, and yeah, I'll walk away from that for a minute. But UPS man just showed up. Apparently, this is what happens when you drink too much. Okay. DV8 bump stops. These are for a JK, so as you can see, that's definitely not what this is. So I got a plan for that, show you later. And then these guys just showed up too. So I just kind of cracked the tape open to make this a little bit easier. And just let's destroy it. Perfect. Ooh, these U-joints feel nice. Okay, come on. There we go. So this is it. It's got Spicer U-joints in it. They feel nice. It looks like they probably used a press on it. The splines look like they were milled instead of rolled, which is not a huge problem, but you can kind of see the machine marks on there. Not really too worried about it. And then we got an extra thickness here. Let's see what this shaft diameter is. So this is 270. These are definitely thicker than the original OEM stuff. So that's good. Let's see what this other one looks like. Oh, that's nice. Wonder what's in there. Yeah, these look nice. Ooh, they actually have clips in them instead of just half moons. If you ever done U-joints before, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got some ringy things. So Tin Factory is made by Motive, and Motive actually makes some pretty good stuff. So this is one of those things where, you know, if you go on the groups and the forums, they go, buy what I buy, because if you don't, you're an idiot. And so, you know, you get people on one side that say these are junk, and then you get people on the other side that say, I've been running mine for 10 years, beating the snot out of them, never had a problem. So I think what happens is, you know, these are new. They're not stress relieved or anything, so you got to basically be easy on them for a while. You know, you can't just take the thing out with 37s and go, boom, what a piece of shit. It's junk. You got to be nice to it at first. You got to break it in. You know, you can't just take it out and break it. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but so there's a couple different ones of these. You got these. You got the East Coast Gear Supply ones, which I don't know where those come from. I love doing business with your East Coast Gear Supply. I pretty much buy all my gears and diff stuff from them. I do not buy from Randy's anymore, because Randy's is way overpriced. Their products are just not as good as they used to be, and they don't really back their products. So that leads to you got Yukon, and then you have US Standard Gear, which is another version, and then you have these ones. I got these ones from Rusty's. So, you know, there's a couple different options. And the reason I went with these is because they have a little bit more meat around here, and they have their it's a 10-year warranty, right? So then you get the next step is these U-joints become the fuse in the system, which you always have to have a fuse in the system, because I'd rather break this U-joint than break a ring and pinion. So that's kind of where I'm at now. What I'm doing here is, I don't know what I'm doing here. To be totally honest with you, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing this how I normally do this stuff, just kind of shoot from the hip. The problem I'm running into is, you know, I could get that tire all the way up in there. I have plenty of control arm left here, but when this comes up and sits, and then say that other side dips down, this tire, it'll roll. So this, you know, this being here, this will actually roll into this, you know, like that, so it'll actually hit this. So I'm going to prevent all that from happening and kill a couple birds here with one stone. So got plenty of room in here. I don't want to hit this. I've already put a couple boo-boos in this tire from hitting here, so I'd like to get this to tuck up in there more. But you know, this is one of those things where you buy a $200 car, and then you know, if you followed any of the other series, you kind of know where I'm going with this. It's just none of this was planned. None of the front suspension was planned. None of the rear was planned. I just kind of pulled this thing in here and started cutting